Dare I make this point? Dare I say that The Dark Knight Returns might be the most iconic Batman comic of all time. Now, what I'm going to be doing in these videos is more of a free-form, kind of more of an informational style, where I recommend you guys comics and then you guys decide whether or not you want this to be a defining story for you. I'm going to try to help you to try to find your starting point if you're not into comics, about where to start with characters that I love. I'll be doing this for Batman, Spider-Man, Venom, The Flash, Green Arrow, Wolverine, anyone else that you guys want, I will help you. But I'm going to start with Batman because he's my favorite character of all time in any medium. The Dark Knight Returns was not my first Batman comic, but it is the one that I will say is indeed the most iconic Batman story ever told. In 1986, Frank Miller was like, let me cook. Frank Miller decided, you know what, I'm going to make a gritty-ass Gotham. None of this candy-ass, Tim Burton, cotton candy, weirdo Gotham shit. No, I'm going to have the mutants graping people, slitting people's throats, and Gotham's going to be brutal, and it's going to be corrupt as fuck. And I'm just going to have this absolutely disgusting city and a retired Batman who, when he returns, will be even more brutal than he was in his prime because he has no choice. This is a different Gotham. This is a Gotham that is vehemently against him. Well, the media and the cops are. The city is with him, mostly. This is a different Gotham than when he had retired 10 years previously. We go through this whole arc where this old Batman is fighting against old foes, Joker and Two-Face. He has to fight the mutants. He loses the first battle against the mutant leader and then beats the shit out of him the second time. He runs the fate against Joker one more time, and we have a great deep dive into their relationship. Joker kills a whole bunch of people on a talk show, and that's just some great shit, and it's really up to interpretation whether or not Batman kills Joker in this story. And Batman essentially, once the city falls into darkness, takes over and becomes the leader. Even after Commissioner Yindel, who is replacing the retired Jim Gordon, she can't control what Batman has become because the mutants now decide to follow Batman and become the sons of Batman. Batman and Superman fight because the government sends in Superman to stop Batman from gaining any more power. And we get a really cool fight, and the one flaw that I would say that Frank Miller did is that he turned Superman into a government stooge. And a flaw that's also not the fault of Frank Miller is that he basically he inspired a lot of people to pawn this idea and just tweak it to make it into their own thing. Like this movie or this comic directly created Batman v Superman. Christopher Nolan took a lot of elements from it. Robert Pattinson's Batman took a lot of elements from it, which nothing wrong with that. It is a great story to take from. However, I'm just saying that the iconicness of it didn't help the fact that it inspired a lot. But is this the one that you should start with? While you should not start with this comic if you want to get into Batman, this is a great Batman story. You get Batman not physically at his best, but overall locked in, ready to fight the good old fight, and he's at war not only with criminals, but as you'll see in this story, I don't want to give too much away, he's at war with himself, with his own code, with his own ethics and his own morals, and he is at war in many ways. It's a great story, and in this story, The Dark Knight truly did return. There's no comics after this. It's only just this one. It's left up to interpretation what happens at the end of the story. And yeah, so solid 9 out of 10. I would recommend, but this is not your first Batman story. We will get to that later on. But go and pick this up at your local comic shop. I am RG, and I'm out. Peace.